Hi all, my name's Abera. I'm sure you've seen some of my videos and you'll notice that I've not done anything like this before, but Donald Trump was on TV here in Australia on the ABC on the morning program, and he was being interviewed on the White House lawns. And I think that this clip really does show what Donald believes in terms of freedom of speech and the freedom of the journalists, because he is unbelievable in the way that he deals with a fairly honest question. And we'll watch it and I'll stop it and we'll have chats as we're going through. So let's start it.
But is it appropriate, President Trump, that a president in office should be engaged in so much business activity?
Well, I'm really not. My kids are running the business.
But
I'm here.
you are also...
You know what the activity, where are you from?
I'm from the Australian Broadcasting Corporation,
Okay.
Four Corners program.
Well, the Australians, you're hurting Australia, right? In my opinion, you are hurting Australia very much right now.
But
They want to get along with me. You know, your leader is coming over to see me very soon. I'm going to tell him about you. You set a very bad tone.
Well,
Go ahead, John.
I mean, he didn't even know the Australian leader's name, your leader, and he thinks that he's going to go to Anthony Albanese, which is the Australian Prime Minister, and say, "Oh, one of your journalists, oh my gosh, the questions they asked me. I mean, why was it an unreasonable question? The man has made $5 billion plus since he's been in office. I mean, what sort of a government is he running? I mean, really, and the question here is, is not is he trying to become an authoritarian, is how far is America going to allow him to go? I mean, this man is really unhinged. Let's keep on going.
Trump, when the UAE does a deal like
you
that,
can set a nicer
when the UAE does a deal, what does it want in return?
Quiet.
Our America's editor, John Lyons, the one and only John Lyons, joins us now for more. Now, John, good morning. You were asking the President some questions. What was the context to all of this?
Well, James, we are researching a Four Corners program which is looking at Donald Trump and his family, their money, their investments. No other president before Donald Trump has had so much business activity in office in the 7 months since he's been returned. And it looks like the family wealth in that time has increased by some billions of dollars. And so the Four Corners program is looking at that increase in wealth. And so I came along this morning to ask President Trump, before he headed to the UK to meet the King, 2 or 3 of those questions on that. He began reasonably friendly manner when I said to him, generally you're seen as the wealthiest man to have had this office. He liked that part of it. He said, I hope so. But then when I asked him about how much wealthier he is now than he was when he came to office, the situation began to deteriorate to the point where, in the end, he sort of shouted to me to be quiet.
And, John, there's a snippet of news in that.
I mean, really. He compliments Trump, and Trump, like a little lapdog that he is, and then he asks him a real question, is it how much money have you made over this period? You've made so much money. And Trump goes off like a little kid, like someone got just caught. I mean, he's open with his corruption, guys. He just doesn't answer you. It's quite amazing.
Right. Now, we knew that there was going to be this meeting between Anthony Albanese and Donald Trump at some point. Donald Trump, in between saying that he's going to dob on you to the Prime Minister, effectively confirming there, I think, that there is going to be a face-to-face meeting pretty soon.
That's right, James. He more or less said it is going to happen. But he also, when he said hurting Australia's interests in the context of that visit, there was almost a hint there of possible retribution or retaliation, apart from the fact he said he's going to tell on me to Prime Minister Albanese. I'm not quite sure what he expects Prime Minister Albanese to do.
And that is the correct response, because the Prime Minister does not run the ABC. And the Prime Minister, thankfully, in Australia is a little bit more measured than the President of the United States, who thinks everything revolves around him, and that, we're going to just cancel a person. They lose their job because he asks a relevant and pertinent question. I mean, doesn't America have something called the freedom of speech? I mean, it's in the Constitution, and yet, you know, this is how he speaks to people. Honestly,
in terms of once been told on me, but there's a suggestion there too that it might damage relations between the US and Australia, which I think is an absurd notion, that 2 or 3 questions, legitimate questions, to the most powerful person in the world. If our job as journalists is to hold truth to power, then surely asking legitimate questions politely to the President of the United States should be acceptable. But in this day and age in America now, it's not. And we can see even yesterday Donald Trump announced he's suing the New York Times to the tune of $15 billion. So I think all this feeds into President Trump's sort of war on the media.
Yeah, we're going to keep asking.
in this day and age. So what's this day and age? Is it the day and age of Trumpism? Is it the day and age where we just say, oh, well, we can't ask you that question because it's going to upset you? Is it the day and age where everyone believes the lies that are on social media and the lifestyles of the poor and the confused, acting like they're rich? And unfortunately, people just fall for it. And this is why we're having this crisis. What I think is a crisis, especially across the private sector news outlets, because they don't do anything else other than just foment anger and people, you know, having to choose sides. I think what Trump did was horrible. I think what Trump did was childish. I think what Trump did was try to hide the fact that he is a corrupt individual, and he and his family are making a lot of money that we will never ever even be able to see, you know, in the one place, let alone spend in multiple lifetimes. But look, with that, you know, I think that the ABC in Australia so much more courageous than uh, what's happening in America at the moment. Many, and even what's happening in the UK right now, how they're protesting Trump. I think, you know, people need to keep the pressure up, because otherwise we're going to be living in a dystopian nightmare. Have a great day, guys. Thanks a lot.